So we are not going to work on making the graph today. I wanted this information all together, but we're going to put the information in the list and then find the equation. So here we go. I'm going to clear my calculator because I've messed with settings. You might want to clear it just to make sure. So to clear your calculator, you're going to hit the second. You're going to hit this plus sign. See how it says MEM for memory? Then you go down or hit the number 7. You hit the number 1, which says all, and then the number 2, which tells it to reset. Okay, so now it says RAM cleared. Now I'm going to follow these steps. So it says anytime you see a box, that means hit the button. So I'm going to find the stat button, which is right here next to the arrow. It says STAT. So hit that stat button. Let me focus. There we go. Then I want to go to number 1. You can also hit the number 1. And then it says input X values in list 1, input Y values in list 2, and make sure you hit enter. That should be a box around that. Enter between each number. So I'm going to type in, these are my X values. So 45, enter. 25, enter. 60, enter. 15, enter. 100, enter. Now I'm done with all of the temperatures, so I need to move to list 2 to do the Y values. So I'm going to go 97, enter. 55, enter. 85, enter. 37, enter. 100, enter. Now, these 2 lines or dashed lines right here have to be in the same spot, so check that, make sure they're in the same spot, or you didn't get one number entered correctly. So that's this step. We entered them into the list. This next step, this is to find the regression equation. So you're going to input the data, which we just did, then hit the stat button again. So hit stat. It says over to calc. So that over to the calc tab. So notice across the top, these are little tabs. You want to hit the over arrow till you get to calc. You can either go down to 4 or you can hit the number 4, the button 4, which says, and I'm going to go back and show you that again. Notice this one says line reg. That stands for linear regression. Notice it's in the form AX plus B. This one down here is A plus BX. So this one is like we've been looking at where it's MX plus B. We just have to remember the A is the same thing as M. Okay, now it says X list is list 1, Y is in list 2, which is what we did. So you're going to hit enter, 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 and then when it gets down to calculate, hit enter one more time. So notice our equation. So the equation that it just gave us is A equals 0.6865, which we said 0.87, so for our estimate, that was pretty good. We did pretty good estimating. And then we said 30, and it said 41. So 41 would have been technically where our line should have started, and then it should have gone up 0.68 over. Okay, so let's write our linear regression equation. So A equals, which is the same as M, 0.687, I'm going to round it, and then B equals 41.16. So that would be our equation. Now, there is one more step on your list. Notice down here it says must have diagnostic on. So notice it says R is the correlation coefficient. That's our next section in the book, but I'm going to go ahead and show you when I'm doing the calculator stuff how to do it. So I'm going to turn on my diagnostic. So that's these steps right down here. So I'm going to hit the second button, which is the blue button. Then I'm going to hit the 0. Notice it says catalog. See how it says catalog right there above it? Since the second button is blue and that catalog word is in blue, you have to hit the second button to get catalog. Now, you have to go down, that's a down arrow, or supposed to be a down arrow, until you get to diagnostic on. So keep hitting down, and it takes a while. You have to wait until you get to diagnostic on. And then press enter, and then it has to say done. So I should have, I put enter. So it should say done. Once it has said done, you're going to run these steps again. If you remember to do this before you run this, it will give you the R value. So stat, go over to calc, go down to number 4, enter, and you're going to hit enter until you hit enter on calculate. Notice it now has the R squared. Ignore the R squared. Oops, I need to write it a little higher. Ignore the R squared, and our R value is 0.83. And that is the correlation coefficient, which is what we will do in the next set of notes.